Before we get started with our formal program, we're going to play a brief video. Welcome everyone, and thank you for watching the video. Welcome and thank you for watching the video and for joining Metro's virtual public hearing for the Eastside Transit Corridor Phase 2 project. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2026. This is one of 4 public hearings Metro's hosting during the current federal environmental review phase. My name is Lorena Sanchez, and I'm the Community Relations Manager supporting this project. Before we get started, we would like to acknowledge any dignitaries, any elected officials that may be joining us, or if you represent anyone at the federal, state, local level, please let us know that you're here in the chat so that we can acknowledge you. We have representatives joining from the Federal Transit Administration, also known as the FTA. Thank you for joining us today. I see that we also have Councilmember Aida Macedo from the City of Whittier joining us. Thank you, Councilmember, for joining us today. I don't see anybody else, but maybe once they jump on board, we can also acknowledge them. Oh, I do see we have our very own Metro Board Chair, Fernando Dutra. Chair Dutra, would you like to say a few remarks? If so, please turn on your camera and unmute yourself.
Lorena, can you see me?
I can see you, Chair Dutra. Welcome.
So, I apologize. I think I caught something over the weekend. I'm going to do the best I can to say a few remarks, but can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Aida, good seeing you, and we just met Friday, and I'm happy to see you on the Zoom here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for the Eastside Phase 2 project. I want you to know that your input is extremely valuable and needed. So I've been involved with the project since 2008. I can't believe it's been that long. I've had the opportunity to see firsthand the many years of planning and this great team that's been assembled to make this happen. All the technical analysis and the community engagement that's brought this project where it is today. Got so many stories, but I'm not going to share them today. Today's hearing is an important part of the federal environmental review process for the initial phase of the project from East LA to Montebello. As chair, I've made sure the project eventually takes us all the way to Whittier, and the Metro team is working hard on realizing that vision. The focus today is the initial phase to Montebello, and that's an exciting start. This hearing reflects Metro's continued commitment to transparency, public participation, and informed decision making. It provides the opportunity for community members to learn more about the project and provide comments that will become part of the official public record. What I believe we can all agree on is that our communities deserve transportation choices, strong regional connections, and investment that supports access to jobs, education, healthcare, and community opportunity. As Los Angeles County continues to grow, it's critical that we plan for the future and continue and connect communities throughout the eastern part of our county for generations to come. I want to thank the residents, the businesses, community organizations, elected officials, and our federal partners and Metro staff who have contributed to this effort over the many years. I encourage each of you to share your comments on today's webinar so that we can all be part of the official record. Your voice absolutely matters. I apologize for my voice. Hopefully it clears up in the next couple of days. Thank you very much and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you, Chair Dutra. I also want to acknowledge that we have joining us today Andy Lopez. She's with the Office of State Senator Marielena Durazo. Thank you, Andy, for joining us. I also see that I do want to acknowledge that we do have community-based partners that we work closely with. Without your partnership and collaboration, we could not do the work that we do in community alone. We value your partnerships and also thank those that are here joining us today. And thank you all, residents, cities, stakeholders. Thank you all for engaging in this process. Next slide, please. Before we begin, a quick note of interpretation services that are available for today's public hearing. This meeting is being conducted in English with simultaneous Spanish interpretation. To select your preferred language, click the interpretation icon, which is the globe symbol in your Zoom toolbar. Choose English to hear the presentation in English. Choose Spanish, Español, to hear it in Spanish. A Spanish translated version of the slides has also been posted on the Zoom chat for your reference. Antes de comenzar, una breve nota sobre los servicios de interpretación disponibles para la audiencia pública de hoy. Esta reunión se llevará a cabo en inglés con interpretación simultáneamente al español. Para seleccionar su idioma preferido, haga clic en el icono de interpretación, que es el globo, en la barra de Zoom. Escoja English para escuchar la presentación en inglés y escoja Español para escuchar en español. En el chat de Zoom está disponible una copia digital de la presentación en español. Next slide, please. A few housekeeping items before we begin. Today's meeting is being recorded for the public record. All attendees' cameras are on and microphones are off by default to keep things running smoothly. We will take verbal comments after the formal presentation. When it's time, we'll ask that you use the raise hand icon, and we'll unmute you when your name is called. If you happen to experience any technical issues at any point, we do ask that you call us or you text us at 323-917-0991. Again, 323-917-0991, and our staff will assist you. Next slide, please. Today's virtual meeting will include a project overview and the latest project updates, an overview on the Federal Environmental Assessment Study, its key findings. Then we will follow it with the different ways that the public can provide updates. I'm sorry, comments. We'll then conclude the presentation with highlighting next steps. Once the presentation concludes and the formal public hearing will follow for about 60 minutes, during this time, we will be receiving verbal comments for the record. Please note that a court reporter is present on this virtual call and will document every verbal comment made during the public hearing portion of the meeting. And as noted earlier, simultaneous Spanish interpretation is available. Next slide, please. Metro is committed to ensuring that all participants can fairly and clearly share their ideas, their comments, and their concerns about this project. So we're asking for your help in following some simple guidelines. We ask that you please respect the format of the meeting so that everyone gets a chance to speak. We ask that you silence your phones to minimize noise so that the court reporter can capture comments for the record. And we ask that everybody please treat everybody with respect during the meeting and after the hearing. Also, please address comments to Metro staff and to our consultants. We do ask that you maintain a conversational tone throughout. Following these guidelines helps us ensure that this is a safe, equitable, and productive process for all. We thank you in advance for your cooperation. Next slide, please. I now want to introduce Jill Liu. Jill Liu is the project manager for the Eastside Transit Corridor Phase 2 project, and she will provide a project overview and project updates.
Right. Thank you, Lorena. Good morning. Buenos dias. In the past several years, LA Metro has opened 5 transit projects across Los Angeles County. The E-Line Extension Phase 2 to Southeast LA, Silla, and the gateway cities is an important part of our vision for better regional mobility for everyone. Our goal is to make it easier for people and families to go around, improve the quality of life, and create economic opportunity within our communities. Next slide. In May 2024, last year, the Metro Board approved the final environmental impact report for the entire 9-mile extension of the Metro E-Line under the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA. Similar to the other rail projects, Metro would be implementing the Eastside Phase 2 project in phases as well, with the initial phase, which is the locally preferred alternative, extending the E-Line by 4.7 miles from East LA to Montebello. The future extension will further extend the E-Line by another 4 miles from Montebello to Whittier. Last month, on May 27th, Metro and the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, published the Federal Environmental Assessment for the initial phase of this project. Next slide. Currently, the E-Line is about 22 miles long. It has 29 stations and it provides a 1-seat ride from East LA to Santa Monica through downtown, provides free transfer to the LAX airport, and was transferred to the new D-Line from Union Station to Koreatown and Beverly Hills in just 20 minutes. Once the full 9-mile E-Line extension is built to Whittier, this project will connect people to more jobs such as the Commerce Citadel, schools, USC, the Coliseum, regional hospitals in Whittier, LA County Museum, and the sports arena. Next slide. Let me share just briefly about the NEPA study process. Next slide. For context, This project has been in development and planning for the last 19 years, since 2007. I mentioned that this project has been environmentally clear entire 9 miles to Whittier at the state level last year. We're now in the 1-year NEPA process, the Federal Environmental Assessment process. This NEPA document is required for Metro to be able to pursue federal funding for the initial phase to Montebello. The NEPA document informed the public and the agencies on the decision-making process for transparency, and it helps us identify ways to reduce and mitigate project risk as we move forward to final design and construction. Slide. So last year, we were here hosting another webinar in early 2025. We notified the community about the start of the NEPA process, and we did. In May 2025, we started the NEPA process. And then here we are in spring, summer 2026. We published the EA, the environmental assessment, and then we're under the 30-day public review period through June. After the 30-day review period, the project team will work with our transit funding partner, the FTA, to review and respond to your comments received today and at all public hearings. We will provide a Metro Board an update in summer 2026, and later this year in the fall season, the NEPA final document, the decision document, which is called the Findings of No Significant Impact FUNSI, will be published with responses to public comments. Now I will turn it over to Marissa Sa from Metro Planning to walk us through the key elements of the project. Marissa, please.
Thank you, Jill. Just a quick overview of the initial phase to Montebello. This project would be a light rail extension from Atlantic Pomona in an underground configuration to Greenwood in Montebello on the ground or at grade. From Atlantic Pomona, it starts underground. This was a configuration that was determined following input from the community and project stakeholders, and continues southward and eastward about 4.7 miles via a new reconfigured light rail transit guideway line. It will ultimately end up at grade or on the ground in Montebello. This new alignment would include 3.1 miles of underground alignment, 0.9 miles of aerial alignment, and 0.7 miles of at-grade alignment. It would include a relocated underground Atlantic Pomona station and 3 new stations. Another thing that I would like to mention is the environmental assessment would evaluate 3 new maintenance and storage options compared to what the one that was published in the 2024 Environmental Impact Report. Next slide, please. So the Eastside Phase 2 project has many benefits. Besides offering a one-seat ride connecting the East Side communities to the West Side and other destinations, the project will also offer more frequent transit rail service. So users will have a train every 6 minutes during peak hours, for example. This project, in addition, will save you time. So if you were to drive from East Los Angeles to Montebello, it would take approximately 16 minutes by car. But with this project, it would take about 10 minutes through the rail system. So as we know, gas prices are costly today. But with this project, you could travel from Whittier with the full alignment or in East Los Angeles with the initial phase to the West Side for $1.75. So this project offers connectivity and mobility options, connecting not only residents and riders to different areas, locales, hospitals, schools, work, shopping opportunities, but it also does so with some cost and time savings. Another benefit is just how many people it would serve. So as it stands today, this project would serve approximately 70,000 people. These are folks who live within a half-mile radius of the stations. And this figure is expected to grow even more and also serves our transit-dependent communities. Another thing with this project is with more people on the train, that means less people on the road, and that means fewer people in cars. And this means less congestion, less emissions, and cleaner air. Finally, this project is anticipated to add about 11,000 jobs and long-term economic activity for our communities. Next slide, please. The current estimated project cost for the initial phase to Montebello is about $7.9 billion, and these are based on 2022 estimates. As of now, this project is still in early design. As we continue to advance the project, more detailed estimates will be provided later. So approximately $3 billion is available through Measure M funds. However, the initial phase is estimated to cost $7.9 billion. So as it stands, there is a funding gap. Hence, this is why we are completing this effort, because by completing the federal environmental process, this will help the project be eligible to apply for more money via federal grants. I also want to note that we are helping to open the initial phase in 10 years. We are committed to continue seeking more funding opportunities to ultimately to expand it to Whittier. More information about future extensions can be found in the final environmental impact report on the Metro website. The project's initial phase, the construction estimated to begin in 2029, and this will be part of Measure M 2016, with the anticipated opening for revenue services in 2035 and 2037. We also know that many of you with us today come from various backgrounds, including small business owners, property owners, residents, the community. And many of you might have questions about the project, the process, and what it looks like. We want to assure you that this information is coming to you. Metro is committed to reducing impacts to continue to work to inform you of our resources. For example, we have services that are available for business support, for example, marketing. We also can help promote local businesses through marketing and research, or marketing and outreach, excuse me, that are located close to the construction areas. And so now I would like to transition to Lorena to share what we've heard from the last round of the community meetings. Lorena.
Metro hosted 4 community meetings in early 2025. As you can see from the pictures, we had great attendance. One of the themes that we heard from community, all of those are listed on the slide. Community feedback included comments related to ADA accessibility, station area design, construction updates, parking, safety, and future funding. We also heard concerns regarding the maintenance storage facility, also known as the MSF. We heard concerns and input regarding the location and the overall project footprint. We thank those of you that joined us. The feedback that was received during those meetings has helped inform the ongoing project development and the updates that are being presented as part of the environmental assessment. So Jill, I'll invite you back to talk about what those project updates are.
Thank you, Lorena. Since last year's community meetings, Metro has been looking at ways to continue improving our project design and to address comments received last year. We met regularly with LA County staff, public works specifically, corridor cities, and utility companies to continue advancing the project design for the Guideway in all 4 stations. Today, I would just highlight the focus of the areas where we conducted some special design study during the NEPA phase, focusing on the initial phase of the project. This includes a maintenance storage facility refinement study in Montebello, the Third Street design study in East Los Angeles, and the Montebello station area design refinements. For the Commerce Citadel Station, Atlantic Whittier, Atlantic Pomona Station, there are no major changes in terms of station locations in the NEPA document. We do have exhibits for all 4 stations that we just showed earlier in the rendering. We'll also have that available on our project website for your comments. And next slide, please. Let me talk a little bit more about the maintenance facility. We understand how important it is to provide reliable and clean vehicle for our customers. The maintenance facility is where the light rail vehicle cars will be cleaned, stored, repaired, and maintained. We have heard community and the city's feedback that the originally identified 39-acre size in Montebello was just way too large. We went back to our drawing boards to right size the facility to reduce environmental impacts. These efforts involve balancing various factors like what it means to Metro operationally to have a smaller yard, how each of the options would affect the environment, and the overall project construction and operating costs. Next slide. The original 39-acre maintenance site in Montebello, shown on the left side of the map in orange color, It accommodated up to 120 light rail vehicles, support the entire 9-mile extension to Whittier. However, it will require acquisition of 6 large industrial properties that are currently active in manufacturing and operations. On the right-hand side, we're showing 3 new options identified during the NEPA study. Option 1 and 2, shown in green and yellow colors on the map, they fall within the larger footprint of the site that was previously identified in the final EIR. However, they're much smaller. Option 1 and 2 ranges between 25 to 29 acres. They're located north of Washington Boulevard, west of Vail in Montebello. Both option 1 and 2 accommodate up to 84 light rail vehicles and over 200 employee parking spaces. Option 1, which is shown in green, require acquisition of 5 large industrial properties and the parcel owned by the BNSF Railway. Option 2, shown in yellow, requires acquisition of 2 large buildings, industrial uses, a parcel owned by BNSF Railway, 1 property at the corner of Washington and Yates Avenue, and 2 industrial properties along Yates Avenue. Option 3 is a lot smaller, is only 9 acres. They're shown in purple or pink color on the map. Option 3 is located south of Gayhart Street and east of Saybrook in the City of Commerce outside of Montebello. Option 3 serves up to 39 vehicles and 55 employee parking stalls. Option 3 is unique because it would make use of 5 properties that were already identified in the previous final EIR to help with tunnel boring activities. It also helped create a short aerial structure over the Garfield-Washington intersection prior to the rail moving further east to Washington to Montebello, along Washington Boulevard toward Montebello. Option 3 will not displace any additional businesses for a yard. So in summary, the maintenance facility is important for the rail extension, and the most important of all, it provides local hiring opportunities. And all 3 options are in the NEPA document for your review and comments. Next slide. Let me talk a little bit more about 3rd Street. During the NEPA phase, we heard from many residents who expressed interest in future plans along 3rd Street. And we would like to just take the moment to share a little bit about what was included in the final EIR and some minor design refinements. Metro been working very closely with LA County staff, the County Sheriff's Office, and the California Public Utility Commission, who's the agency responsible for overseeing the safety at all rail crossings. The goal is to improve the train speed and traffic flow and reduce incidents along 3rd Street. The idea is to move the light rail away from street level just east of the Civic Center station and have it enter an underground tunnel near Laverne Avenue, just 1 block away, prior to approaching east to the underground relocated Atlantic Pomona station. We heard from the community and the agencies that safety is the priority for 3rd Street, especially in emergency situations. The current concept will help the sheriff's office to respond quickly by allowing them to make a U-turn and make left turn to travel east on 3rd Street. To make it safer for pedestrians, we're also suggesting adjustments to crosswalk location for higher visibility. While this concept will improve the traffic flow, some potential adjustments will be required and needed. Particularly, there will be a left turn restriction at Laverne and 3rd Street and Civic Center driveway on 3rd Street. We understand these turn restriction and adjustments will be inconvenient for the community. To address that issue, we will provide U-turns at the adjacent intersections to ensure local access on 3rd Street. Alternatively, residents could also use other parallel streets like Matnick to the left side to enter the Civic Center area or Wood Avenue on the east side of the map. Next slide. Again, this option is still in early design. We would like to hear your feedback. And then safety remain the priority for 3rd Street, and we would like to hear your feedback about 3rd Street. For City of Montebello, the City of Montebello is currently working on its downtown specific planning study. Metro is collaborating with the city to tackle several design challenges and explore opportunities for integrating a center running light rail along Washington Boulevard between Maple Avenue and Montebello Boulevard. Our focus is on creating a safe and accessible environment for everyone, whether you're driving, biking, walking, parking, or delivering services for goods movement. The SNEPA document evaluates construction staging sites at the southeast and southwest corner of Greenwood and Washington, where our station is going to be located. These construction staging site can also be used for future park and ride lot for this interim terminus station for the initial phase and also for joint developments here. Just like the Third Street study, we might also need to limit left turns at some intersections and driveways along Washington Boulevard. For example, at the intersections of Montebello and Washington, we need to know whether to allow left turns from east to west from Washington to Montebello. If we keep those left turns, it would potentially impact additional real estate properties. On the other hand, if we restrict left turn, we could potentially avoid some right-of-way take. So more information about the Montebello station and the other 4 stations can be found in the NEPA document. And these were just highlights about the changes that were made in the NEPA phase compared to the final EIR that was approved. Next slide. In terms of survey, Metro recently completed field investigations and survey in the project area. These efforts help identify where existing underground utilities like SCE, SoCal Edison's, water lines, sewer lines, and where they're located, as well as the condition of the soil to help us design the rail, the foundation, make sure it's seismically safe, and also for our construction. The survey is important because it helps us minimize risks during construction to avoid any surprises. We want to thank the cities, the county staff, also the community for allowing us to complete the survey safely and efficiently last year. Now I would like to invite our environmental team, Jaime Guzman, to provide the findings of the NEPA environmental study for the initial phase. Jaime, please.
Thank you, Jill. Next slide, please. So the environmental work that we've done so far evaluated many topics, and this environmental assessment under the federal topics that were evaluated for the state process. These include air quality, bio, cultural. In addition, there are some other topics that were not evaluated for the state environmental clearance. And these include Section 4F, which is the looking at whether cultural or recreational land uses are being converted or used for transportation. We also look at economic and fiscal impacts of the project, as well as real estate and acquisition. There are some topics that with recent changes in the NEPA requirements from the current administration are no longer being evaluated. This include climate change and environmental justice. However, Metro has an equity policy that and is committed to working with communities in this corridor in terms of those topics. Next slide. When it comes to determining the types of environmental effects under the federal process, it's a little bit different than it is under the state process. In the state process, we have thresholds of significance. You either exceed them or you don't. For the federal process, it's a little bit different. We look at whether if effects are based on reasonable, foreseeable determination factors. Which include how close the project is to certain sensitive receptors, when the impact will occur, and whether the impact will occur with other projects that have been already funded. The types of environmental effects that you will find in the environmental assessment include beneficial effects, which are those that would improve an environmental resource or its quality. No adverse effect, which is where there may be some changes to the environment, to the environmental setting or the existing conditions, but it would not be considered a negative effect. And then the last type of effect that you'll see in this document will be those that are not adverse with mitigation measures implemented. And what that means is that while they may have some more substantial changes to the environment, we have provided a certain types of mitigation measures to reduce those or minimize those so that ultimately there's no adverse effect. Next slide. So in terms of beneficial effects, this document determined that economic impacts for the long-term effects or operational effects will be beneficial. As we've discussed before, it will provide a new employment opportunities for the area, plus some potential development opportunities and economic growth. As far as topics that have no adverse effect, we have air quality and economic impacts during construction. And then the rest of the topics that were evaluated in this environmental assessment were determined to have no adverse effect with mitigation incorporated. These include acquisition relocation, bio, community, geology, hazmat, cultural resources. Next slide. Land use, noise, safety, section 4F that I mentioned before, transportation, visual, and water. The types of mitigation measures that we're looking at that were prepared for this document are similar to the ones that you may have found in the state document. However, there are some ones that have been modified for the federal process and also ones that are new because we have new topics that we are discussing in this environmental assessment. So for biology, for example, we have conducting nest surveys prior to construction activities. This is similar to one that you would find in the state document. Cultural, we have several sensitive resources along the alignment for historic resources, including the Golden Gate Theater / CVS Pharmacy at Atlantic and Whittier. And we are looking for vibration measurements during tunnel boring activities. We want to make sure that we have pre-construction surveys as well as documentation during construction of the vibration that is found. For noise, we have truck staging mitigation measures so that during construction, trucks are not going to be staged in residential areas to minimize noise in the area. For traffic, we have a standard traffic management plan, which is intended to help maintain corridors open during construction. And these will be done in conjunction with local jurisdictions, communities, and law enforcement and fire. And then for hazardous materials, we want to make sure that all that is required under federal and state agencies is done and complied with, particularly things that have to do with drainage and things going into the storm drains. Next slide, please. So what we're going through right now is we released the document in May 27th, and we have a review period that will end in June 26th. After this, we will be looking at all of the comments that are received and summarize those for Metro as well as our federal partners. And Metro will provide an update on these comments to the Metro board. Looking forward to in the fall, we'll be working with the FTA to prepare the NEPA final decision document, as well as responses to comments. And throughout this period, we are going to be working with the community and stakeholders to continue engagement for the rest of the process. Next slide. And now I will pass it back to Lorena.
Thank you, Jaime. Yes, we will continue to engage community throughout every phase of this project. And there's multiple ways that the public can provide their comments. For the record, there's an active 30-day comment period, as mentioned, that began the day that the environmental document was released. The public has, again, until June 26, 2026, to submit comments for the record. The public may submit comments through the project website. You see that You see it on the slide, metro.net/Eastside underscore phase 2/. When you log onto the project website, you'll find an online version of the environmental document and a signal that prompts you to submit a comment. We're making it as easy as possible to submit comments online, and we'll share a little bit more about that. The public may also submit comments by calling the project phone line at 213-922-3012. The public can email or mail their concerns, their comments. Please refer to the slide for the email address and the mailing address. And also, public comments will be recorded at the in-person meetings, including on today's virtual call. If you need access to a printed copy of the environmental assessment, you'll find one at the FTA's Region 9 office, the Metro headquarters building, both located in Los Angeles. Printed copies are also at the East LA Library, the Rosewood Neighborhood Library and Commerce, and the Chet Hollyfield County Library in the city of Montebello. We provided the addresses. On the slide, we do ask that you please call them for hours before you go. Next slide, please. Metro has introduced a user-friendly interactive online platform. The content of the online version is identical to any other medium, such a PDF format, printed copy, where you can view the environmental document. It's available in many languages, and so we ask that you please look for the icon that allows you to select the language that you need. The online environmental version includes a welcome page. It explains how to navigate the platform and how to review the document chapters and subsections. There's a comment feature that's easily accessible on each page. So as you scroll down the comment, you'll be able to easily submit a comment. It'll ask you to fill in some fields such as name, address, email, and privacy policy. I do want to note that the comment feature will only remain accessible during the 30-day comment period. So from now until June 26th. You can scan the first QR code that you view on the slide to view the environmental document, and you can pretty much review the document and provide comments from the convenience of your cell phone. Next slide, please. The public is invited, in addition to today's virtual call, to join us in an in-person public hearing. This past Saturday, June 6th, we were in East LA. There are 2 additional in-person meetings. This Wednesday evening, June 10th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., you can join us in the City of Commerce at the Senior Center. And this coming Saturday, June 13th at 10 a.m., we'll be hosting the public hearing at the Chet Hollyfield Community Center in the city of Montebello. We will have the same format, same information is going to be shared. In addition, we will also have a Spanish translator, a court reporter, a kids corner. We will ADA accommodations and American Sign Language translations will be required, do require advanced calling. So please take a look at the number on the screen. We do need that to be requested 72 hours ahead. And both verbal and written comments will be accepted. Let's go, but let's show the last slide so we know. We remind folks how they can get in touch and all the different sites that they can visit us at the metro.net website. Please sign up to get our project emails. We will notify you of upcoming meetings, any opportunities for you to get involved. We will continue to engage the public throughout every phase of this project. If you'd like to receive community newsletters that we send out weekly to learn about, what Metro is doing, what projects are in your area. There's a link there where you can visit us. We also have monthly newsletters where we showcase, big things happening in Metro. And so please stay informed, stay in touch. We'd love to hear from you. And we will continue to see you at local events and public meetings. And again, we have a QR code to make it very easy for you to submit your comments for the record. You can do so from the convenience of your public transit ride. or anywhere you're at for that matter. Again, just a reminder, it's really important for folks to submit their comments through June 26th. We hope that we hear from you. Okay, so if there aren't any more comments on today's call, on behalf of Metro, we really want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us here today. This is the public hearing again for the Eastside Transit Corridor Phase 2 project. We will see you very soon, and we are officially, it's 1 p.m. We are officially closing the comment hearing and period for this project. Thank you all. Have a great day.